Hey, good afternoon. It's Mike Bowen, and it is the 31st of October. By the time you see this video, it will probably be into November, and you'll either be closing out your season at a late season Ironman race like Ironman Florida, Panama City Beach, or perhaps you will be going into your wintertime training or rest break period, whatever have you, and getting ready for the next year. Looked at social media this last couple of weeks, and a race director mentioned her assertion that athletes just simply are not going to read the relevant competition rules for the national or international federation, depending upon what type of event that they're going to participate in. And so, if you're one of those people who doesn't really get into reading the rule book, and you haven't taken the time to read the new USA Triathlon Multisport competition rules, then there are three things that you probably might do just to save yourself a little bit of reading time, and just it's common sense, which I realize is not always common. So the three questions to ask yourself are these when it comes to whether behavior on the run course or a bike course or a swim course let's just say at the triathlon venue. Thanks. Oh, and equipment use. If you have any sort of questions on that one, think about these three particular areas. First off, is it safe? Okay. Second off, is it fair? Third off, is it nice? Are you being nice? All right. So let me talk just a little bit in those three particular areas. Okay. If you're not going to read the rule book, at least take these things into consideration before you do something at the venue. Okay. So safety is, I would like to say common sense, but I realize that common sense isn't quite as common as it should be. But safety is a common sense underpinning to legal or forbidden behavior at the venue, whether it's in transition, in the water, on the bike, or on the run. So something as simple as taking a glass container into transition area, and that is, the potential for it being dropped and breaking and causing damage or injury to somebody else is just very, very common sense. Flotation devices on the swim, once they're deployed, can be a bit of a hazard there. Headphones, whether it be on the bike course or on the run course. Speakers, I've seen some cute things, cute headphone speaker-like things that you can drape around your neck also here in Japan. Amazing what the technology is. People who want to display their patriotism by perhaps running with an American flag on a large pole on the run course, or have a flag hanging off their bike or something like that. There are some things that seem pretty innocuous, but when you start to think about the details, they have great potential to injure another athlete or a volunteer or a spectator, regardless of the situation. Something that bad things do happen over the time on the course. Okay. Let's go to the second question there. Fairness. Is it fair? If I do this, if I engage in this behavior, is it going to be fair? If there's a behavior that it's being offered, let's say you've got a friend or family member sitting on the side of the run course with with water bottles or stuff like that for you on the course, and they are not part of the race organization. Is that fair to everybody else? Would you want every other participant to do the same thing, to have family members out there along the side of the run course or the bike course to provide you technical support outside of what the race organization has, or assistants. If every participant did this, would it, what's the potential for things to be, to suddenly become unsafe out there? And that's the one thing out there that, it's not just that it's not fair to everybody else. It's, can you take care of everybody else? But what's the potential for things getting really, really chaotic out there on the race? Even a race as small as 500 people, 300 people, if everybody's got two or three friends out there, trying to do unofficial ad hoc aid stations for their friend and their friend only, next thing you know, you got folks all over the place on the courses. Never a good thing, okay? Lastly, let's talk about being nice, okay? Rule number one, there's the golden rule can be boiled down even to a shorter phrase, don't be a jerk, or words to that extent, okay? So this is especially important when you have events with larger fields. A race with 150 or 200 people, there's not quite as much trash or, space taken up in a transition area, or the potential for people to be throwing stuff about. But when you get to the size of, let's say, a World Triathlon Corporation event with 2,000 people plus, it's the potential for entire neighborhoods being messed up, and that's something that local organizing committees always have difficult time with, is because athletes will just mindlessly throw trash in places that are not designated areas for dropping trash or discarding equipment. People will chuck shirts and water bottles onto lawns, or they'll just step off the side of the course to take care of nature's call there. So you might want to think twice, especially like when you're out on a bike course or a run course, and you start thinking about, I could chuck my water bottle, kind of like the Tour de France kind of situation. No, don't do that. Even if you boil back down into transition area, and you may want to take matters into your own hands. Perhaps you came in like not so much the absolute last minute into transition, but you're a later arrival into transition, and it's like open racking there, and you don't feel like you have enough space to put your bike, your gear, your kit, your clothes, your shoes, your stuff there, and you decide that you're going to start moving other people's kit around and everything like that. Don't do it. That's one, it's not nice, and two, it's definitely against the rules. You're interfering with another athlete's gear is absolutely a no-no. And if you start goofing around with their stuff, they can raise some sort of shenanigans. Usually we have transition volunteers to come take care of things like that. Or if you show up early enough, show up early enough into transition, talk with your fellow transition mates and see about trying to move things around so that you can have your little piece of paradise also. So once again, if you're not going to take the time, over this winter to read the Multisport Rulebook, and I hope you do, please, because there's so many changes to it now that because of the rules alignment with World Triathlon. But please consider, as you go into next year, think about whether what you're doing is safe, whether it's fair, and whether it's nice. And if you have any questions about that sort of situation, more often than not, people know what the right thing is to do. So just, if you have to ask a question about that, ask yourself the question about it, then take the time and see your head referee or see your assistant official there in the transition area, or at the athletes meeting, the officials meeting before the event. The head referee often takes the time the day before the event to put put on a briefing and explain the rules. Or you can send a message to that race to that race director and say, hey, is this fair? Do it with enough time ahead of it so that they can either say, yeah, it's fair, or I'm not sure, let me reach out to the head referee. All right. Once again, this was supposed to be a little more simple and fundamental, and I've gone rambling about. I hope that you get something out of this, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I have Gmail address of michael.s.bowen@gmail.com, or you can reach me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/USAT Rules Guy. Have yourself a wonderful day. Enjoy your holidays, and I hope to talk with you soon. Bye. I send you all